Okay, so we love living here. We love our sunrises and our sunsets.
Yes.
We love the people here. And Midland is just right. Like, I just can't. We did Houston,
Yes.
big city, traffic, all that, where Midland has everything I could imagine, but I can be anywhere in 15 minutes.
That's right. Anywhere in 15 minutes,
know?
and an international airport in 15
International
minutes.
airport. And with Odessa's connection, I mean, all of this going on in our sort of mini Twin Cities area. It's just everything I can imagine. The only thing about Midland, because I really like Mexican food, I just wished we had more Mexican restaurants.
Really? This
No.
is sarcasm, right?
I do like it. But wow.
There's so many choices.
That's right.
For me, it's hard to pick. Like,
Right.
how do you even pick?
Right.
At the end of the podcast, I'll ask you your favorite restaurant.
Okay.
And I can tell you, almost every single person mentions a Mexican restaurant. And I'm like, okay, we haven't tried that one yet. Haven't tried that. You think you know them all.
You'd think in 10 years I've eaten them.
Right.
I haven't.
No, you probably haven't even scratched the surface.
No,
That's
no,
right. So
no.
I love that you said that. So yeah, little fun fact: if you've have not visited Midland, Odessa,
Right.
you'll have lots of good choices for food.
And it's
It
the
is.
best.
It's a great
It's the
place,
best.
and you're right. The people, and I know we're going to get into what you do for a living in a second, but the people of West Texas are what makes it special.
Absolutely.
And I can imagine your congregation, you just love them to pieces, and that's why you're not leaving
That's
after
why
10
we're still
years.
here. And, I've never been around. It's true that there is a lot of potential income in Midland, right? But there's something about Midland doesn't carry themselves like that.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And so, we have all kind of folks in our congregation, and there's some folks who've done pretty well, but you don't know it.
Yeah.
You don't realize it. And I guess the way I like to say it is just about everybody I know started off wearing work boots,
Yeah, that's true.
in some minimum way. And there's just a lot of respect for hard
Yes.
work. And so I just love how Midland carries itself. And yet we were just at the Life Center banquet a few weeks back.
Yes.
And the money raised to try to help the Life Center just made me proud of Midland, that people give to some really beautiful things.
I couldn't agree more. It is the most philanthropic town I've ever seen. The way that people give back and want what's good for this community is pretty amazing. How did you know that you wanted to be a minister?
Well, wow. So I wanted to be an Air Force fighter pilot.
Okay.
Because I saw Top Gun as a kid. So, that's
who
me,
doesn't want to
right?
be Maverick,
Yeah,
right?
that's me.
In the 80s, right? That's my husband's favorite. He's grinning over there. His favorite movie.
Right. I think I saw it like a dozen times in the
Yes.
theater. So I got my pilot's license, and I wanted to be an Air Force fighter pilot. But I was also sharing some lessons, and since my dad was a minister, he had me doing some devos and things.
Right.
And then I got to my senior year in high school, and I was preaching at little country churches. I'm talking like 8 people here and 12 people here, and really just falling in love with doing something to help people. And at that time, my left eye went just below the minimum for the exam to be a fighter
Yes.
pilot. And so I took that as a sign from God, as a crossroads moment, went, well, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And so went into ministry, and then the Lord's blessed me. I've gotten to play with aviation all along the way, getting my pilot's license and getting to goof off with it. So
Yeah, that's fantastic. Because I've been saying, you told me you're a pilot, so you still get to fly.
I still get to fly.
It's just in a different avenue, and you're doing God's work in the meantime. So,
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
that's amazing. I love that story. I want to talk a little bit about an event that you have coming up, the Christmas story.
The Christmas story.
But we're going to talk about that in just a second. First, all these teases. First, it's not often or not every day I have a minister that's sitting in this chair. So I thought, what a better person to ask this question than you? And so the question is, how would you describe faith?
How would I describe
Yes.
faith? Well, I think the simple word or simple synonym for faith is trust, right? If you have faith in someone, you trust them.
Yeah.
Talking about aviation, one of my dreams I got to accomplish, I got to build a little airplane a few years ago, and it's a small little thing. So if I were to ask you, if I were to say, what do you think of my airplane? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think I'm a quality builder? And if you said, oh yeah, sure. Now what if I said, let's go for a ride? Are you going?
I don't know.
And so
Depends on how much faith I had in
there you go. Do you trust me enough
Right.
to get in the plane, right?
Right.
And so faith is enough trust. There's an old song we sometimes sing, trust and obey. And it's really that simple. Do you trust God enough to do what he asks?
Then that leads to the next question. How do you know what he's asking? Al and I talk about it all the time. We're like, sometimes we just wish he would tell us what his plans are. Right? If he could just drop a hint. I mean, like really, just drop a hint out of the sky. That'd be great.
In fact, I had somebody just tease me the other day. They're a tax accountant, and they were talking at a table about how the tax code's constantly changing, and he looked over at me and said, well, I wished I had your job. And I was like, well, come get it, But he said, well, no, what I mean is, he said what you reference is always the same. And I said, well, I hadn't thought about it like that. Because there's sort of there's two things. Number one is that we need to know our Bibles. And over the years, I mean, I like to read, and if I like a book a lot, I might read it 2 times, maybe 3, just kind of enjoy it.
Right.
But if I've read a book 3 times, I pretty much know how it goes.
Right.
So I know that it was Colonel Mustard that did it in the library with the lead pipe. I've read it, I know it.
I love a good clue reference.
Right.
Yes.
But the Bible, every time, because I've been through it a few times, and every time there's something else to see.
Yes.
It's the same, but there's always more. And I've just never seen any other book like that. And
That's
so
true.
Being fed by God's word, and then the other part of that is then learning to listen to the Spirit's leading, which is a lifetime of growth. That's not nearly it's not black and white. Right? And so you get this thought like, I should call so-and-so. And you can ignore it.
Or you can do it.
But you call them. And maybe they'll tell you something like, I'm so glad you called. I was just thinking about this or struggling with that. And they'll say something like, your timing was perfect. You say, well, it wasn't me, because where'd that thought come from?
Right.
And so the Spirit's leading is educated or guided by what we understand in the Bible, what we learn from God.
I love that. That was a great way to explain it. We're sitting here today in Midland, Texas with Mike Crowley. He is the minister of Fairmont Park Church of Christ. And we're going to talk about the Christmas story coming up. But first we have this little thing here, Mike. And I don't know if you've seen the podcast before. I
have not.
You're going to reach in, and it's going to be a quote. And you're going to read the quote, and you're going to tell me what that quote means to you.
Trying to just grab one in the middle.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, which quote, or which one? Oh, you got the encourage card. I love it. What does it say?
So I got the encourage card. And it says, leadership is not about titles, positions, or flowcharts. It is about one life influencing another. And that's from John C. Maxwell.
Oh, we love our friend John C. Maxwell. That's a great quote. What does that quote mean to you?
I would summarize it, and this is obviously an excellent quote, that leadership is about relationship. In other words, you can call yourself a leader, but if you look behind you and nobody's following you, you're not a leader.
Right.
The worst kind of leaders are those who try to lead by position. And so you sort of picture the cattle prod. I grew up on a dairy in Idaho, so you have a cattle prod and you zap the cow, and so you push people by fear or power or intimidation. But the biblical reference of leadership is shepherds. Well, when I was a boy growing up in Idaho, we had the authentic, real old-school shepherds from Spain that would come out and spend all summer with the sheep in the national forest and national lands. And they live with the sheep. They know their sheep by name, and so they would go out in the morning and call the sheep, and the sheep follow them, and they just walk, and the sheep go with them.
Talk about leadership.
And that's leadership. Because the sheep know that shepherd. Jesus talks about that in John chapter 10, but they know their shepherd. The shepherd knows their name, and they recognize his voice. That's why you have what they call positional leadership or influential or relational leadership. And I think the way you encourage someone is you do that with connection, with influence, with relationship. Kind of back to faith. If people trust you, then you can lead them. If they don't, well, you could threaten them with a paycheck, you could threaten them with some sort of punishment, but you're not going to get very much.
Right. You're not going to get the best out of them.
No, not at all.
I love that. That was great. What is a favorite quote that you live by, or Bible verse, or both?
I guess my favorite Bible verse comes from Isaiah 40, where he says, that he will give us strength. He'll give us wings like eagles, because I love aviation, so that verse
Yes.
sort of radiates with me or resonates with me. But he says he'll give us the wings like eagles, and that we will run and not grow weary. Because I think so much of life, although God intends good for us, life can be hard, it can be draining, it can be kind of exhausting, and God promises something else.
Absolutely. And I'm sure in ministry you see so much, the highs, the lows, right? I mean, you're there at people's highest of highs and their lowest of lows. What is it that gives you the strength to have the words for your congregation when they're going through those things?
I thought you were going to ask easy questions.
We're going to get to the easy questions in just a minute. But first, I'm like, I've got a minister here. I need to get the hard questions answered.
I mean, it sounds simple. I guess it's simple and profound at the same, or I'm not sure if that's the right word, but I always ask God, what would you have me say? But coming into a situation like that it's sacred.
Yeah.
It's people are inviting or allowing you in, and we do this with friends too. It isn't ministers. I mean, all the word minister means is servant.
Yeah.
Okay, so really, like Jesus said, I call you my friends, and so friendship is probably a really good model. So when we have close relationships, when we have friends, our 3 a.m. friends, people that you can actually call at 3 in the morning and they'll answer. Right. And so when they're hurting, they'll invite you into their life, or maybe they're celebrating, but it's sacred. It's a burden, but it's a blessing. And so a lot of times it's just being there, because I can't solve it either. Right. The Lord's the healer, not me. But it's just that we do this thing together.
It's the listening.
It's the listening. It's the listening, and I think sometimes we intimidate ourselves, like, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, and I think we forget sometimes just be there.
Right. And I think I love what you're saying, because I believe that when you are there and listening, the words will come, but when you think, oh, what are the right words, right? Then you're struggling almost for the right words. But if you just, sometimes I'll just say a simple prayer like, God, please give me the words to be a blessing to others today.
That's exactly right.
And so when I say that, it seems like it's almost like it's lifted off my shoulders. Like the pressure isn't there for those words. They then come because we're listening to the Lord, right?
That's right.
And I love that. I love that you do the same thing.
I don't have any wisdom beyond that either.
Well, right? I disagree. I think you're dropping lots of wisdom today. This has been fun. I love this. And I have so many more questions, and we'll jump to those in a minute. But first, I do want to talk about this wonderful Christmas story that you're going to be sharing with your congregation coming up in December. And so tell us a little bit about it. Tell us why it's important and why you want to invite the community.
Okay. So this is our 4th year. It's a new experiment for us. We just are thinking, here we are, Christmas season. It seems like when you hit Halloween, you just start to accelerate.
It's
right?
so true.
And
so
Thanksgiving
true.
goes by so fast, and then it's Christmas, and Christmas is this office party and that office party and this activity and that activity.
Yes.
And we live in a busy world.
Yes.
And one thing about Midland I think because of the oil influences, people are kind of moving and shaking and traveling and doing. However, we get so busy that we can also get drained. And so we were like, how can we invite people to think about peace and joy? And those are sort of carols or association with the Christmas season, but there's also something real, right? That God offers. Well, so Christmas, in the middle of all the running and getting presents and doing all the thing, so what if there's something we could do to help folks slow down and just be blessed, right? And so we kind of borrowed some ideas, and we call it the Christmas story, and it all centers around, we got a little Christmas train, because nothing's cooler than a train.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's a little train, and we put Christmas lights all over it.
Aww.
And so you come in and you get your ticket, and we go around our parking lot, and we set up the Christmas story. So on the train ride, you experience this Christmas story. So like you get on the train, and there's a narrator talking to the kids, and of course the parents walk along behind the train.
I love it.
And you go around the angel choir, and then there's the manger, there's baby Jesus. And of course, back in California, Universal Studios or whatever, if you ride a
Yes.
train, there always has to be a train robbery.
Right.
Right? You always have
Right.
to have bandits.
Yes.
So we're like, how can we? And so we thought, Herod's looking for baby Jesus, right?
Yes.
So when the kids get on the train, we tell them, okay, we're going to look for baby Jesus. And if you see him, whatever you do, don't tell Herod's soldiers.
Okay.
So little trains, kind of going around, and then here come the soldiers from around the corner, and they're dressed up, and they start asking everybody, have you seen Jesus? Have you seen the baby? And the little kids, they'll be 3 or 4. No, we haven't seen him.
You're like, good job, good job.
And so it's just fun. It's just
Yes.
fun. And then we kind of come around, and then we usually have a scene of modern Christmas. Here's the tree and presents and stuff. And we just try to remind the kids and the families that the real present is Jesus himself, the peace and joy we can have in him. And then we sort of finish that ride, and that's kind of the backbone of it.
Right.
But while people are waiting in our gym, we have all different kind of games for the kids, and they can drink hot chocolate. Santa's there. They can get their picture with Santa. They can decorate Christmas cookies. There's a little short play that runs about every 30 minutes. Just kind of making it I don't know if carnival's the right word, but just a fun
an
kind
enjoyable
of
way to celebrate the season.
and if you come and if you just kind of go through it, it's probably even maybe 30 minutes, and then
Okay.
some people move through pretty quick, and some stay and visit and drink hot chocolate with us, and
I love it.
yeah.
And do they need tickets ahead of time? Is there a cost?
No, not at all. Just
Okay.
come. Just
Free.
come. Just free.
And
It's free.
Let's let everyone know where you're located. I drive by you all the time, but where's your?
So we're on North Midland Drive. We are right across the wall from Target. I like to say we may not be the church on Target, but we're right next to Target.
I love
right?
it.
So it's a near miss. So we're across the wall on Midland Drive
Yes.
from Target, and it's going to be December 14th.
Okay.
And it's from 6 to 8. It's come and go.
Okay.
It's not a certain start and stop other than 6 to 8.
Right.
And it's just show up. We don't
Fantastic.
charge anything. It's just we just want to create a warm place for families to just slow down and enjoy something with their kids and just be reminded of how much God loves them.
I love that. What a beautiful way to celebrate that. And thank you for doing this for the community.
Sure.
I think we are in such a special place where we do have so many giving churches and nonprofits and businesses that do free events. But I love when I get to hear something like this where this is for families. It's completely free. You're going to slow down because our kids are bigger now. But I remember that time when they were little, and it seemed like it was a stressful time of season, right? My husband's over there shaking his head. Yes, Christmas time. He always says Christmas time can be stressful.
That's right.
And it's because you want to make it magical for the kids,
Well, sure.
and you want to get them every present on the list, but that's not what it's about. And so you're getting to share the true reason for the season.
That's exactly right. The reason for the season, and I'm a grandfather now. We got 5 precious little grandchildren, and I think I know I'm enjoying the small children more now.
Right.
Because we'll go over
'Cause
to
you're
our
not
daughter's
stressed,
house, right?
right.
and we're playing with them, and they're so cute. And then maybe the parents have to discipline them, or the kids get upset, and my wife and I'll just say, "Oh, how cute." And we don't have to do anything about it.
Right, it's great. You get to just send them home that night, or leave and go back to your
That's
house.
right.
Yes,
That's right.
It is a beautiful season. I've heard. We're not there yet, but I look forward to it. And I loved the season of our kids being little. But looking back, you always go, "Gosh, I could have probably enjoyed it a little bit more."
Just slow down a little bit.
Because I was always tired from work or this or that
That's
or
right.
paying the bills.
That's
and,
right.
and so I love this as an opportunity to do that. Okay, this is going to be a really random question, but
Uh-oh.
he's like, not another one. So our son is 16, and I told him I was coming to interview a minister today, and he said, "Well, great. Will you ask him if it's true that Jesus was not born on December 25th?" And I said, "Well, that's a perfect guy to ask."
There you go.
So is this a fun fact that we're revealing today?
It's a fun fact. And that's part of the fun about the Christmas story. So I'll mention a couple things.
Okay.
It's just kind of maybe not necessarily as common knowledge. So the Bible never says when Jesus was born.
Okay.
As far as the date.
Right.
And then because of once the Roman Empire goes from trying to destroy Christianity to becoming Christians, they sort of borrowed one of their holidays, and December 25th kind of becomes this day.
Okay.
Now, the closest we get is the Bible says that when Jesus was born, the first thing that happened is the angels go out and they greet the shepherds. And it says the shepherds were out with their flock in the fields.
Uh-huh.
Well, they weren't in the fields year round, but they would be out overnight with their sheep in the spring
Okay.
when the ewes were lambing, just to make sure there wasn't any trouble or there weren't any predators involved. And so the shepherds were out with their sheep at night in the spring. So based on that, then we can tell, well, if that's when Jesus is born, that's why the angels first addressed the shepherds and then they came to see him in the manger. That means Jesus would have been born sometime in the late spring.
Okay.
And that's about as close as we're going to get.
That's it. So December 25th was just a chosen date
Right?
by people.
By people that said, let's celebrate it on this day. And it's always good to celebrate
I
Jesus.
think this is a great fun fact.
Right?
And Alex, thank you for that knowledge.
Right? And the other fun thing is we kind of do with our little train ride. If you see a Fisher-Price nativity set, you know, you got your little barn, and you got that. There's always that beatific cow in the background, very holy looking little cow, you know.
Yes.
And even in Fisher-Price, they'll have a cute little pink pig and the three kings and all that.
Yes.
But you get to reading. Well, one, there wouldn't have been any pigs with the Jews, but two, the Bible never actually says there are three kings.
Oh.
All the Bible says is wise men came. Now they gave three gifts,
Okay.
so we assume maybe one
Each.
gift per person.
Yes.
Could be,
Right.
but that's an assumption. But they're never actually called kings.
Wow.
Even though there's the Christmas song, "We Three Kings of
Yes.
Orient Are We," or something. I'm not going to sing it for you.
No, please
Don't
do.
panic. Oh, no. They let me preach, but they don't let me lead singing. And so that's just kind of all we know. So there's this kind of this cultural nativity story.
Yeah.
But when you really get to reading, you're like, oh. And so we kind of talk about that in the train
Oh, I
ride.
love
And that's
that.
why I'll give you a tease. You'll see the baby Jesus in the manger, and there's shepherds. And then there's this house over here with these men with gifts. And you're like, why are they separate?
Right.
And that's kind of the fun of kind of noticing some of the details of the Bible.
Interesting. Any other fun facts or myths you want to
That's about all I know
today?
for now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to do something we call question of the day. So
Okay.
it's kind of similar to earlier, except for there's a question in here.
Okay.
This is a great conversation. We're here with the minister of Fairmont Park Church of Christ, Mike Crowley. And what question did you get? Oh, you got an important
I got an
card,
important question.
because you have an important job, yes. And what is the question?
What does home mean to you?
Oh, I like that. What does home mean to you?
Well, you've probably heard the expression, this is what just popped in my head, is home is where the heart is. Well, the reason I would say our heart is there is because of our loved ones. So home is wherever your family is.
Yeah.
I think everything circles back to relationships.
Yes. For
You know,
sure.
we were you think about Adam, you know, God created Adam, and he's the perfect man.
Right.
He really was,
Yes.
because he's perfect physically. He lived in a perfect environment, the Bible says, had a perfect relationship with God.
Yeah.
And the Bible says that God looks at Adam and sees that he's alone and says it's not good. It's the only thing in creation the Bible says wasn't good.
Yes.
So then Eve is created. And so we don't do well by ourselves, right? I mean, Tom Hanks made a movie that said if you're deserted on an island, you'll have a best friend that's a volleyball,
Right.
right? Because you just got to have relationships.
That's right.
We're just created to be in community.
Yeah.
And that's what home is where you have those connections. And that is, so that can be your you would hope it'd be your parents
Yeah.
and your siblings. Sometimes families that doesn't always go well. And so you can have that extended family. And I think that's the most powerful word for a church family. We like to tell folks, if you're looking for a church family, welcome home.
I love
Right?
that.
Because it's people, it's connections.
What would you say to someone that's craving that right now? Maybe doesn't have that in their life, because you know one of the things about our podcast is I want everyone to feel like they're not alone in this world, and that we've learned so much today, and I appreciate you sharing your faith and your views today. Let's give some hope to someone that is maybe feeling that way. They're feeling a little alone. Maybe they haven't found their church family, or maybe they're struggling with relationships. What advice would you give to them?
When my daughter was, let's say 13, that stage when the young ladies are starting to be teens and
Yes.
the world is starting to try to tell her about her value. I'll never forget, she said, "Daddy, do you think I'm pretty?" And I about panicked because I got a sense of I really got to answer this question well.
Right. This could change the trajectory of her life.
It could, right? Because there's so many other voices. This is what beauty means, or this is how you're important. And so I took a breath and I said, you are perfect. You are exactly as God created you to be. And what I prayed for is that she would hear her Father's voice, that she would let me help her define her value, right? Because as you know, it can be really manipulative.
Yeah.
Lots of terrible things can happen when young people are like, well, if you like me, you'll fill in the blank.
Right.
And so I think all of us, though, we don't ever outgrow that. We are asking ourselves, who are we? Where do we belong? What really matters? And the best answer comes from our Heavenly Father. But that's who we are. We're not accidental. We're created on purpose. We are not only created on purpose, but with purpose. And so for those who feel alone or disconnected, it doesn't feel good. And it's not going to. And so I would encourage folks to look for a church home, to listen, to ask your Heavenly Father, who am I? And where do I belong? And why do I matter? Because you can get a lot of different answers, right?
Yeah,
if you can throw an inflated pigskin through an iron hoop regularly, then you're somebody. I think that's basketball.
Right.
Well, that's fine, but what about beyond that?
Right.
Right? And so I have so much respect for people that walk into our building. You walk into a room full of weirdos. You don't know these people. Like what's going to happen? And I tell our members we ought to put them on a bus every 6 months and send them to some church they never heard of, just to remember what that's like. That you're just. The second thing I guess I would say is just keep asking, keep looking, because relationships, they take time. I wished I knew a shortcut to having a best friend.
Yeah.
But it just takes shared experience and connection. And I don't know about you with your children, but did you ever try to make your kids be best friends with some other kids?
Oh, yeah, like play dates when they were little? Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, and how well does that go if you're going to make them be friends with somebody?
It usually doesn't always.
No, you can set it up. You can introduce them. You can
Right.
kind of provide the atmosphere. But that's just something that has to happen between two people.
Right. It's organic. It happens.
organic.
It
That's
does.
right.
And like you said, built up over time. And going back to faith, it's trust. It's that repetition of trust built up over time
Right.
that makes you go, this is one of my people. I can trust them with
That's
this.
right.
And I think that's a good thing that you said, to remind people it doesn't happen overnight, because
No.
sometimes you think, I really, I could really use a really good friend in my life right now. I'm going to start this path. I really like this person. We connected on a level. We're going to go to lunch again.
Right.
But it just doesn't happen overnight.
No.
It is built up over time.
No, and you have to surrender that to God, because when I just think about life, my relationship paths don't always go the way I think they're going to go. Maybe I end up being really connected with this person that I didn't expect, or this other one that I thought maybe we would,
Yeah.
and we didn't. The thing about Midland is, it seems to me that there's a lot of people in Midland that don't have any family here. Right? They've
Right.
come in from Midland,
That is very true. Yeah.
from somewhere else. And so, like, when we were raising our children, my wife's from Argentina, and my parents were in Texas and what we call the Holy Land, and we were out in California. So then we start having these babies, and we got 2 little kids, and then I go up to preach, and my wife's trying to juggle 2 kids, all by herself, because we're doing life all by ourselves. And one of the older couples just slid over next to us on the pew and started holding one of the babies. And then my kids grew up calling them Grandpa Val and Grandma Gertrude. And they had aunts and uncles they weren't related to.
Yeah.
And when my mom came out to visit, I thought, oh no, she's going to see Grandma Gertrude and the kids' connection, and she's going to be upset. Right? And so after church is over, I look over, and my mom is hugging Gertrude, and they're crying together. And my mom is saying, thank you for bringing the grandmother when I couldn't be.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
And that's what you mean when you say church family or
Right.
community, is finding the place where you belong.
I love that. We have the little thing that we call the favorite things that we're going to jump into right now. And
Okay.
so it's fun. It's not going to be, I'm not going to ask you to solve world peace or
Oh, good.
anything
Not
like
gonna be a
that.
hard question?
He's like, no more hard questions. It's just fun way to get to know you better
Okay.
and see what your favorite things are. So first one is favorite book.
Favorite book and I really do mean this, is the Bible. It's a lot of fun to read.
I had a feeling you were going to say
Yeah.
that, but
Well, that's like I'm supposed to say, but
But it
also,
really is.
It really is. It
I
really
love
is.
that. Do you have a favorite book in the Bible that you like, the chapter that you're like, oh, this one really speaks to me the most?
Well, I love, my favorite's the Gospel of Matthew.
Okay.
Because of course the Gospels are about Jesus, so just following Jesus around is amazing.
Yeah, I love that. Favorite podcast?
Favorite podcast. There's an aviation one that I like. Aviation. Oh, now you put me on the spot. I can see the guy's face. I think it's Aviation 101 because I
Okay.
like to pay attention to flying stuff.
Awesome. Very good. Favorite fun fact about you we would not know reading your bio?
Favorite fun fact. Well, this is kind of silly, but my eyes are different colors. Each one's a different color.
Oh, now I'm going to look a little bit more. We've got a little
I've been
darker
told
blue, a little darker
a blue and a green.
and
I've been
then a
told the
little more
shirt makes a
green.
difference.
What makes a difference?
The shirt I'm wearing helps you see it.
That is true. That is true. Very interesting
That's
fun
a
fact.
sign
And
of extreme, I don't know, something.
extreme something. Not sure what, but
Yeah,
you
I'll
fill in the blank.
I'll let my wife finish it from there.
Yeah, we'll let her finish it. That's great. Favorite movie?
Top Gun.
Yep. Can't go wrong with Top Gun. Did you like Maverick just as much? The
I
second
did.
one?
I
It's
did.
good, right?
I did. I'm disappointed. The DVD, I went to see it in the theaters here,
Uh-huh.
and Tom Cruise addressed the audience,
Uh-huh.
sort of like in a chair. Hey, I made this for y'all. It's not on the DVD,
Oh.
or at least not on mine.
Interesting. I don't
But
know.
that
We
summer
didn't
that
buy
came
it,
out,
so-
like I said, my friend and I watched it 15 times. We went to a church Bible camp, and we liked this girl, so we sang.
Oh no, you
You've
did
lost
not.
that loving feeling.
That's
And
great.
yeah, we flamed out. It didn't,
Just like Tom did.
we were not as cool as they were.
Well, no, Tom flamed out too. I don't know.
That's true. That's true.
What'd she say? She said, "Oh, so you've done this twice. How did the first one go?" He said, "First one crashed and burned. Second one, I'll tell you tomorrow." Or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like- I love that line. That great movie. Great movie. Okay, favorite. Favorite life hack. Something that makes your life a little easier.
Ooh, I probably need several. Favorite life hack? I don't know. Apparently, I don't have a good one. So I guess I need one.
Well, I don't know. You probably have one, but it makes your life so easy you don't even think of it as a life hack. That's what I've had a lot of people say that. They'll come back and go, "Oh, I didn't even think
Oh, I
about this.
should have thought of this,
Like
yeah.
this is a life hack." Yeah. Or I love the ones that say, "My wife is my life hack." I'm like, "Good answer.
Well-
Good answer."
Well, that'd be the truth for sure, because there's certain, we have certain gifts and strengths and weaknesses, right? And that's what
Right,
makes
right.
marriage wonderful. I have a certain mind for certain things, but I cannot keep track of a schedule to save my life. I can put it on my phone. I
Uh-huh.
can set alarms.
Yeah. Nope.
So people
she-
have learned if they're going to ask about my availability to do something, they go talk to her.
Yeah. I get that.
'Cause she just,
Sounds familiar.
I don't argue with her history or geography. She is locked in.
That's
She's got it.
awesome. So she is your phone a friend on
Absolutely.
history,
Absolutely.
geography, or your
I'll
calendar.
call her, babe, am I doing anything on such and such? We're doing this or that. Or
That's
whatever.
great. I love that. It's just this fun thing that moms have in their head, that they know everybody else's schedule just like this. It's great.
It's amazing.
All right, favorite restaurant?
Probably, well, I know what it is Max Barbecue. Here in town?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
love Max.
Okay.
That-
Someone just asked me about Max yesterday. That's funny.
It's the barbecue bowl because you can just pile and everything's all mixed together. and
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, there you go. Head to Max if you haven't been.
It's right.
Max is your place.
My favorite.
Favorite Christmas carol, since we're talking about Christmas today.
Favorite Christmas carol? Probably Joy to the World. I was in college before I realized Christmas carols were in the church songbook.
Really?
Yeah. They started their hymns originally.
Uh-huh.
And then they got borrowed. Of course, it fits. They got borrowed for the occasion.
Right.
And then I gotten used to animatronic Santa singing it or
Right.
whatever, making the sound. And then realized, wait a minute, that's a hymn.
That's in the Bible.
That's in the songbook
Or
anyway.
the songbook. Yeah, not the Bible, but in the songbook.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that. Okay, favorite song, hype song. You're walking in to deliver the word on Sunday morning. What song is playing in your head to give you that confidence?
Oh, well, favorite song, hype song is going to be Danger Zone.
Oh yeah,
But I don't listen to that
one.
before I preach. So I was like,
But
oh,
that would be
that
funny.
kind.
That would be funny if you listen to Danger Zone on the way.
I know, because I saw Maverick and I got all hyped up and I made the mistake. I got the soundtrack and I was listening to it and I went to fly and I was kind of flying aggressively and I was like, hey, wait a minute, I'm not flying in F-18. I want to pull the wings off. So I love that. But probably as far as just faith and worship and being with my brethren, there's an older, Phillips, Craig, and Dean is an older group, and they have this song called Here I Am to Worship.
Okay.
And it's just, well, it's just a great focus song.
Brings tears to your eyes.
Yeah, it really does.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Favorite, we're running out of time. Let me give one more. Okay. Favorite memory here in Midland.
Favorite memory here in Midland. So when we first came to visit the church, ooh, this is going to be a tie. Because we do a vacation Bible school, and they were doing like a musical, and we snuck over from Sweetwater to kind of spy them out. What kind of church is this?
Yeah. Where are we going? Yeah.
And we thought, and we got away with it at first. We came in the dark, they had like a musical going, and we're sitting there, and these prospective elders, these old dudes that are the wisdom in the church and the mentors, etc. They're going to be mad when I said old dudes. I was kidding, but they got called up on stage, and it's just a gym full of little kids, and they get up there and they're trying to dance, and they don't have the moves.
No.
And so people are roaring, but I was like, if these guys are willing to let people have fun with them, this is my kind of place.
I love that.
It can't be too highbrow or stuffy.
Yeah.
But when we visited the church the first time, and the church wanted to meet us, they had this ice cream social. So they had all this ice cream piled up. Well, they put us in line, to greet everybody. So this is tragic. So all this ice cream, everybody eating ice cream, I didn't get any.
Oh, no.
Because we were greeting people and talking to people, and then they got done and they cleaned up and put everything away, and we didn't get any ice cream.
You got no ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know.
Hopefully you went to
But
Baskin Robbins.
I'm over it. 10 years later, I'm over it.
Yeah, totally over it.
Oh, yeah.
What's the best piece of parenting advice that you were ever given but actually used? Do you have one that you think is just the best piece of parenting advice?
You're supposed to be asking easy questions. Best piece of parenting advice. Well, maybe it's something like this. I'm not really sure exactly how to word it, but you want to be a parent first and a friend second.
Okay, that's good.
Because if you parent when they're little, you get to be friends with them when they're older. If you try to be best buds with them when they're 5, you're going to have a hard time when they get a little older.
That's good advice. That is great advice. I love that. We're getting close to the end of the questioning and the conversation, but I want to know from you, from your heart, what is the one thing that you want everyone to know about the Christmas season? Like, if there was one thing that you could just share today that you're like, I really wish everyone got this about Christmas, what would it be?
Have you ever gotten a gift? You were kind of excited when you saw it. It looked fancy. And then when you opened it, or maybe you got to, I got a little airplane bomber game when I was a little boy, and I was so excited about it. And for the rest of the morning, my dad and I played it together. And you'd fly around and drop little things. If you can think about how excited I was to get it and how much fun it was because I was doing it with my dad. Imagine that's what God wants for us. Right? He didn't create us to be miserable. He didn't create us to have nothing but pain and emptiness. Jesus said, I've come that you'd have life and have it to its abundancy or full. And so when you trust God and you accept what he gives you in Jesus Christ, that's the best present ever. And that whole joy and peace thing can be real.
Yeah.
We're still human. We still struggle.
Right. There's going to be tough days.
If you're looking for a perfect church, by all means, don't come where we are.
There is no perfect.
Because we're not. But you can find peace and joy. And you can be a part of something that really matters. Yeah. I don't know what that means to you, but I don't mind hard. I don't mind frustrating. but I want it to matter.
Right. Yeah. And I want to find the joy in all occasions, even even the lows. I feel like there is a joy to be found, even in the toughest of difficult situations.
Well, that's why that's the word, because it doesn't mean happiness. Happiness is an emotion.
Yeah.
Okay, the word joy is the only word big enough to hold laughter and tears. And the most powerful place you'll see it is when a Christian has passed away and the family is mourning them. They're going to be laughing and they're going to be crying because it's real pain, but it's also real celebration.
Yeah.
And that's the word joy, that it's big enough for both.
I love that. Is there anything coming into the podcast today, Mike? And this has been a great conversation. Thank you so much for doing this and
I
sharing.
enjoyed it.
Is there anything coming into today's podcast that you're like, oh, I hope we get to talk about this? We haven't mentioned it yet. We haven't, or, you know.
No, I enjoyed the conversation. We got to talk about the Christmas story, and I had no idea you were going to ask me this many questions. So
You're thinking right now, what did Pat put me up to?
yeah, wait till I see him.
Well, I'm grateful that you did do this. Thank you so much.
You're
I'm so
welcome.
grateful that you were able to really just to shed a light on so many different things. And number one, make people feel like they're not alone. And if we can give anybody a little bit of hope today, to me is a beautiful thing. And of course, invite everyone in the community to the Christmas story taking place at Fairmont Park, Church of Christ on December 14th from 6 to 8 p.m. Please go, take your kids, enjoy some time away from the stress and the
Just slow down and enjoy.
Yes, slow down and enjoy, because I think that's what, as a parent, I always look forward to the most, were those times spent with the kids and having fun and being joyful. And
Make some memories.
And make memories. And that's what you guys are doing with your event. So thank you so much for sharing that
Thank
today.
you.
And for just making our community better with your words and your wisdom. So thank you for sharing today. We appreciate you. Follow them. They have a website, probably on socials too,
Yes,
right?
on Facebook and YouTube.
Okay, and so just go to Fairmont Park Church of Christ and the website. Do you have the web address?
It's fmpchurch.com.
Okay.
And you can watch the service online. That's the new front porch. If you're like, I don't know
Yes.
about those folks, watch us online, and you'll know what you're getting into.
I love that. I love that. Of course, they'd love to see you in the pews, but if you can't get there, or if you're
It's a way to start.
It's a great way to start, is to going online, and they're on web, on also on the social media channels as well. So, Mike, thank you so much. I really enjoyed our conversation,
Thank you.
and appreciate you sharing with us today.
Thank you.
We also want to thank all of you. Please pass this on. This is it's Christmas time. We want everyone to feel love and feel the joy and the peace of this season. And so share this with someone that you think will enjoy this conversation as much as we did. So thank you for your time. And of course, our sponsors. Huge shout out to Rig ID Workwear, to Midland Cap Company, to Omni Midland Hotel, also to joincapclub.com, and to the Lachlan Hotel. We appreciate your support. And as I always say, go support local wherever you're at. Thank you. That's it. Enjoy the season. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm so thankful for you for listening and passing our podcast on so that we can hear the great stories like Mike's that we heard today, and of course the story of Jesus. And we appreciate you for sharing and being here. Don't forget my mottos: dream big, believe, and never give up. You make it a great day.